and welcome to Wealth Building Wednesdays. I'm your host, Lorna Blake of Empower Yourself Consulting, and I am so excited to be with you today because today is week 5, which means we've been doing this show now for 5 weeks. And it is absolutely amazing that we get to prepare and present you with this kind of information to empower you to have wealth in your life. Now, before we get into today's show, which is the ABCs of Financial Literacy Part 2, where we delve into credit, I just want to take the time to acknowledge, I recognize that I am a messenger for this time. That's right. I recognize that I'm here to help shift the consciousness and change the conversations that we have about wealth, because the truth of the matter is wealth is your birthright. Wealth is my birthright. I'm not wearing the t-shirt today, but you get what I'm saying. It's something for us to begin to embody and embrace. And so if you take the time today to be fully present, to be still in the midst of distraction, and take in this show with this amazing guest who is here to share with us, you're going to receive a message, a miracle, a manifestation, or a breakthrough. And inviting you to take only what belongs to you and leave the rest. And I'm also going to invite you to share this show with those in your circles, because they too could use a message, a miracle, a manifestation, or a breakthrough. And with that said, let's begin. Let's begin, and we're going to begin. And before that, just one housekeeping thing. If you are joining us today for the very first time, we welcome you, and we want to invite you to take a look at week 1, where I spoke to my mentor, Derek Rydell, about awakening your wealth. Week 2, we spoke to Rhonda Williams, who is the former CEO of a hospital, and she talked about running after money is not building wealth, right? Week 3, we had the ABCs of Financial Literacy Part 1 with this very same amazing guest we've got today, Taliba. And week 4, last week, we spoke to Paula Duncan about smart money is protected money, because that's also part of financial literacy, is protecting your wealth. All right. And now today, we've got Taliba back by popular demand. Her segment 2 weeks ago was so popular, we had to have her back today. And today we're talking about credit. And so I just am so delighted and excited to welcome back Dr. Taliba Asset to our show. She is a financial literacy educator, among other things. She's also a metaphysician. She's got degrees and doctorates in divinity and metaphysics. I could go on, but you will, once you've heard her, you know that this woman is so passionate and so knowledgeable that when you start talking to her, it's like you're just scratching the surface. So you just want more and more and more. So without further ado, let us welcome her back to the show. So great to have you back, Taliba. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was, wow. I want to go hear myself now. Yes. I am truly passionate about economic empowerment for everyone. Wealth is not something that is like isolated or reserved for a certain type of person. Everybody, it definitely is your birthright. And I was going to say something about that shirt. I'm looking for mine. I'm going to find a shirt.
Awesome.
So yes, I am ecstatic to be back. I was excited. I've been excited ever since you asked me to come back. So
It is such a delight, because when I talk to you, because you're so knowledgeable about this whole topic, it's like we could talk for days and we're still only just scratching the surface with you. So today, last time when we spoke, or last time you were here, we talked about just the beginning, some of the beginning questions. And I
Mhm.
think we decided that credit would be a great, a second point, right? Or a second show to have because it consumes so much of our time, right? We live in a society where we are rewarded for having good credit, and we are often penalized when we don't have it. Not that we have bad credit, but we don't have it, we are penalized. So there are some things that are pretty much, it's the system is set up to give certain privileges to those who've got good credit. So I wanted to start off today asking you, what are the misconceptions that we have about credit? Let's start there.
I think the biggest misconception that we have around credit is, well, number one, the fact that the system is designed to reward you. It's designed to make you think you're being rewarded for
Hmm.
having good credit.
Hmm.
Um, because and because it's designed to make you think that you're being rewarded to have good credit, you now equate credit with wealth. Good credit is not the same thing as well. As a matter of fact, you have good credit and be dirt poor. You
Yes.
can have bad credit and be independently wealthy. So wealth and credit have nothing to do with each other. As a matter of fact, the fact that you think that credit is wealth is a problem. That's a
Wow.
problem.
Pause
And so,
right there, because that is something that I really want for the people. If you're joining us live, I forgot to say that we reward, I want to reward the people who are live and who participate. If you got what Taliba just said, please type in the chat your insight, your aha, your takeaway from what Taliba just said, because that is powerful beyond anything I could even imagine is what you just dropped something on us. So I want you to say it again so that people really get it.
the fact that we think that credit is wealth,
Yeah.
that's the
The
problem.
problem is
That's the
that
problem.
we think that when we have credit cards, we're wealthy is the biggest problem that many societies, many nations face, because people are pretty much getting themselves into debt,
Yeah.
right?
Because
As
that's
a
all the
result
credit
of
score
having all
means.
these credit cards and quote unquote good credit.
Right. That's all the good credit only means that you qualify for more debt. That's
Ooh,
what
ooh,
that's what your credit score actually means. It means
ooh.
that you qualify. You don't qualify for more wealth. You qualify for more debt.
More debt, more debt.
And,
So
yeah,
credit means you qualify for more debt.
a
Did
good
you all
credit
get
score.
that in the chat? I want to see what people are saying here. I think there's some, wow. I saw some wows. There's some people wowing. Wow. James Head said, good afternoon, my queens.
Hey, James.
Hey, James. Latanya Dickens Irving is with us, and she gave us her thumbs up. Tell us your insights, James and Latanya, and whoever else is joining us. Yeah, share your insights with us. Let us know how you're doing with what you're hearing. Yeah, because that is very important to us, right? And that's a great way for you to learn,
Yes, yes.
right?
I have to shout out James. James is my number one fan. Where I go, you're going to find James Head the third down there. And I know
Aw, that is so cool. And I want to shout out Latanya is one of my people. Thank you guys for joining us. And do please share with us what you're getting, right? Because this is just amazing, right? And James says, break it down, Queen. Come on. Come
I
on.
got you,
Awesome.
James. Yes, yes, yes. That is it. You when you go, and the problem is that we live in a society that we're taught to be consumers. We're not taught to be wealthy. And because
We're taught to be consumers. We're not taught to be creators. Did you say?
we're not taught to be wealthy. We're not
We're not
taught to
taught to be
create wealth.
wealthy.
We're taught or conditioned to be consumers.
Yes,
And
yes,
because we're taught and conditioned to be consumers, we think that we need to buy stuff. So we
Ooh,
want good credit when we don't have the money or the currency to buy stuff. We want good credit because we feel like we're missing the point that having the assets and the cash flow is actually wealth. We think
yes,
that the stuff you buy is the wealth, but the stuff you
yes.
buy is not the wealth. Unless you're purchasing assets, then what you buy is not wealth.
That's the point. That's it right there. So, when you start breaking things down, I have to pause you and take a breath to take it in and also to invite people to get it because you just in one sentence or two, you give us so much, right? So much in terms of nuggets and powerful information that it takes time to process it.
Yes.
So what you're saying to us in a nutshell is that here we are in a society where we're actually being rewarded with credit, but that is wealth. And when we make purchases that we're just on credit, just off of our credit cards, and we're not paying it back immediately, we're digging ourselves into debt. We're not building wealth. So as much as we may feel like, oh my God, I've got all this credit, many times we'll find ourselves beginning to drown in debt because of this misunderstanding and this misinformation. And that's why we need people like this amazing woman here to break things down for us. So keep going. So tell me if I missed any of that. Tell me what.
You got to head on. In a nutshell, whenever you are using credit, understand that what you're doing is building your poverty. You're not building your wealth. You're building poverty.
Building poverty, not building wealth. So it goes against the grain of what we're attempting to do here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not saying you ought not to have credit, but it's about the wise use of it. And,
right.
And here we've got Taliba, and she's going to help us break that down so that we can actually begin to dig ourselves out of the ditch of debt.
Right? Because there is a such thing as good credit and bad credit.
Yeah.
Or good debt, well, rather good debt and bad debt. And the problem
is, or there isn't. Say that again.
Yes, there is a such thing as good debt and bad debt.
Credit and bad credit, and good debt and bad debt. Yes.
Right. So when you're using debt to acquire assets so that debt will pay itself off,
yes,
then that's good debt. When you're using debt to build your wealth, that's good debt. When you're using debt,
for example, using your credit card, for example, to buy an asset.
Yes, using your credit card.
Then you are in fact building wealth.
Right, you're building wealth because if you're purchasing an appreciating asset,
yes,
a truly appreciating asset, then that appreciating asset is going to, what you've essentially done is taken that monetary value of that credit and you put the credit to work to earn money for you so that you can pay off the debt.
Yes.
And then now that you've established the appreciating asset, once the debt is paid off, the asset is going to keep earning money so that you're now in front of the debt.
Yes.
What happens is that we don't buy assets, though. Ooh. We buy liabilities.
Ooh.
We use credit to purchase liabilities.
So this right here, I remember when I learned this from Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm like, what? It's so fascinating to come to that realization. So that is a powerful statement to make. And what I'm going to invite you to do, Taliba, is to help us understand the difference between an appreciating asset and a liability. What makes the difference there? Because you just said we've been programmed to buy liabilities, not assets. So tell us, share with us how that works.
Well, first of all, when I first started to learn about money, I was pretty young when I first started learning about money. And what I learned early on was that poor people buy stuff, they buy
Yeah.
junk. Middle class
Ooh,
people buy liabilities. Wealthy
ooh,
people use their money to acquire assets. So the
ooh.
difference between an asset and a liability is an asset is something that pays you.
Yes.
That's as simple as I can make it. Something that you acquire that will pay you,
Mm,
and then a liability is something that you acquire and then it costs more money. So it's
yes.
something that you pay for. So like
Yes.
your car is a liability.
Yes. Yes.
Unless you're using your car to make money on a regular basis, your car is a liability because you have to pay for gas, you got to pay insurance. It costs you to own the car. That's a liability.
It's a monthly expense or a whatever, weekly expense or whatever. So it's taking money out of your pocket. A
Right.
liability, therefore, is
It's
something
putting money in it.
takes money out of your pocket. So every week or every day or every month, you're
Right.
losing money, you're bleeding money,
Mhm.
right? It's coming out of your pocket, out of your income. You're having to
Right.
pay for that. An asset, on the other hand, is something that pays you. So we are interested in acquiring assets because we are into wealth building. And so if you've been, if you're listening or watching this and you're thinking, oh my God, I'm on the wrong side of the equation, it's okay. You're not the only one and you have to start somewhere. So don't beat up on yourself. Just recognize that this is a great time to begin to change that. And that's what this is all about, right? It's a process. Don't beat yourself up. Just know that this is a great starting point, and we're going to continue to provide information to help you. All right. So, Taliba, where do we go with this? So, you've already shared with us that there's some big misconceptions that we have. We feel like credit is wealth, when in fact, credit can take you, if you're not using it wisely, it takes you deeper into debt and poverty, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
well, we've just talked about asset, the difference between an asset and a liability. So a liability takes money out of your pocket while an asset puts money into your pocket. So take a look at your life
Yes.
and see how is that for you, right? All right. So Taliba, where do we go from here?
Well, the thing that, because anybody that's gotten to know me
Mm.
probably knows that credit repair services are like the pet peeve and bane of my existence. Like I'm always like, I cannot. It's not that I don't believe that people should have good credit. I
Yeah.
don't. It's just that in the broad scheme of things, when you're talking about financial security, credit just doesn't really matter that much. But
Yes.
people put a lot of emphasis on it, and they put a lot of emphasis on it because they feel like they need to buy stuff. The
Yeah.
first thing is the first thing is it speaks to your mindset, because what you don't realize is that when you borrow, and anytime you're using credit, whether you're using your credit card to make a purchase in a store or not, you're borrowing. When you borrow, you are stealing prosperity from the future to spend it today,
Oof.
and you are actually enslaving your children and your children's children. So the Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. What you're leaving is a legacy of poverty for your
Oh,
children's children.
oh my God, that is such a
Well,
powerful point, Taliba. I want to pause there and just really allow that to sink in for a moment because I know that a lot of people who join us are they it's something that I don't think there's anybody who joins us who ever wants that. But because sometimes we dig our heads in the sand, because we don't become active and conscious about this, right? We don't change our mindset, as Taliba just talked about. We end up, as she said, when we borrow, we pass from this life and we leave behind a legacy of debt for our children and our children's children for many generations to come. And so, if there is ever a time to create a shift, it is now. And who better to start that shift but you and me? We don't want any more of that. Last week, the guest on our show, Paula Duncan, talked about her parents, right? Her parents passed. The mother passed first, and the mother, she, the way she passed, they were able to handle it. She and her brother were able to handle it. But when the father passed away, everything, the brother lost his house in the process because the father's illness was over a period of time. The brother lost his house. I think he got ill. She lost everything, 20 years of savings down the drain. Everything was gone in the process of that parent passing away. And they're, they've had time now to rebuild, and even their relationship suffered. So it's not just about the poverty of cash, right? It impacts your health, it impacts your relationships. So I'm just inviting us to begin to take a look at our situation so that we can change it for the better, not just for you now, but for the generations to come. Thank you for that, Taliba.
Yes, and that's really what it's all about. It's about the generations to come, because truly, like, financial literacy is not taught in school. You learn it in your family of origin. So your financial status is to a large degree due to what you learned and the relationships and the beliefs that you have around money. For instance, the reason you believe that you need good credit is because you won't give yourself permission to believe that you could actually have enough money to buy a house cash. You can buy a house cash. They take cash. But you like, I've had arguments with people about credit because of the way I feel about it. Like, they're like, oh, well, you can't buy a house if you don't have good credit. Yes, I can. They take cash every day. As a matter of fact, if I spend the cash, guess what? I'm going to get the house for cheaper because I don't have the interest rate.
Oh, my God.
Matter of fact, I could probably ask them, look, I know you have the house listed for this much. I probably could say, look, I got a couple of $1,000s less than that. How about you just give it to me for that cash right now? They'll probably do it because it's cash right now.
Ooh, okay. Well, so I want to back up what you just said because I'm a living example of that. Like right now, that's my reality. That awareness that you don't actually have to use credit and you save on the interest that you would pay for a house if you're able to pay for it in full.
Yes.
You actually get a discount. And you save your family for generations to come because now you own it outright.
Right.
You have the title, right? It's an asset to you and to your family.
It's now an asset, exactly. It's now an asset because the whole time that you were paying for it, your house is a liability.
That's it.
So why not? That's when we're starting. What I want people to understand is rather than focusing so much on I need a better credit score. No, you need a bigger cash flow. Ooh. You need more money. Yes. You don't need more credit. You need more money. Yes. So you need to start to figure out how do you have more solvency? How do you have more cash flow, more access, more liquid cash flow that you can use to pay for the things that you want to purchase? And then when you're using credit, understand this, I have some rules about that. Never use more credit than you can pay for in the month. Do you understand that credit card companies would go out of business altogether if everybody paid their bill on time?
Ooh, oh my God, yes, of course.
Be- because 80% of their revenue does not come from your premium. It comes from late fees and high interest.
That's
This is why they don't like it when you pay your bill on time in full. When you pay it on time in full every month, they'll start sending you letters saying, hey, did you know you could just pay $25? Why? Because we're not making any money off of you if you're paying your credit bill off on time. So it's nothing wrong if you want to build credit, get your little credit card, get a bar of candy every month.
oh
Get a
wow.
bar of candy,
So,
get a candy bar. It doesn't matter. Spend $1, spend $5, and pay the $5 off every month. You will build your credit. You don't need credit repair services because credit repair services charge you to do something you can do at home for free.
So Taliba, this piece here that you just broke down for us, right? The awareness that these credit card companies, they make 80% of their revenue off of our late fees and
Late
interest,
fees
right?
and high
Interest. So what does that mean for you? If you're listening, you're watching, just put in the chat. Tell us what you're getting from what she's sharing here. Are you picking up what she's putting down? Like seriously, this here, if there is ever a takeaway in the show today, it's this. The credit card companies, they're making a killing off of our late fees and our, the high interest rates that we're paying. And if we were to pay the cards off, what would happen to them? We would be freer, right? Financially, we'd be wealthier. We'd be much better off. And
there wouldn't be any credit card companies.
Continue to be in business for very much longer. So they have a vested interest in keeping you in that situation, don't they? So what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're on the show here today. You're live. Are you picking it up? And if you did, I want to see a yes. Come on, you guys. You're here. Talk to us. Let us know that you're getting what she's sharing. That would be really helpful. Come on.
Can you guys still hear me? You hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, James said, learn to be a saver instead of a consumer. That is powerful. Absolutely. What else? Who else is talking to us here? What else you got? Come on, you guys. You're here. Talk to us. Did you get the piece about the credit card companies and how they're making a killing off of your monthly small, the little payment that you're making every month? That if you were to pay it in full, you would take greater charge of your finances, and they wouldn't be able to stay in business. It looks like we just lost Taliba just for a brief moment here. Let me see if she's able to come back on. Yeah. All right. So bear with us. So while we are waiting for Taliba to come back on, I want for you, if you are here, you're here live. This is really, really powerful information that we're sharing with you today, right? The notion that you've been made to think, right? This is very intentional on their part, right? The financial services, the credit card companies, I'm not pointing the finger at anybody, but I'm talking about a system that is geared towards making them wealthy and keeping you poor, right? They're benefiting from you paying only a small portion of that credit card. All right, Taliba is back. Taliba?
Yeah, I don't know what just happened. Hey,
I know sometimes things happen, but I'm glad you're back. So continue where you left off.
What I'm going to say is that what we don't realize is poverty is big business.
Oh my God.
Poverty is possible. So there's an interest in keeping you poor. You do realize that poverty is by design. It's
Yeah.
not a natural state of being. That's why we say poverty is my birthright. Not poverty,
Wealth is my birth.
prosperity or wealth is my birthright, because you're born in abundance. You're not born in scarcity. Scarcity is then given to you as the only option, because you're told that you can't do anything about your situation. As a matter of fact, I just did a live stream yesterday about a news broadcast that I had saw about this back to school drives. And I was like, it's funny that they're saying, well, every kid that's going back to school is going to be about $700, as if $700 is a lot of money. Then it goes on to say that most, a percentage of the people in my community are below the poverty line. But the poverty line in the U.S. is $25,750. So if you're making that, number one, you're going to earn $1,030,000 in your lifetime. That's over $1 million. What is how much you keep, not how much you earn.
Wow.
And so when you're starting to go out to get credit, what you're doing is you're putting a dent in how much you keep.
Ooh, yes. Yes. So you shared just now about somebody who earns $25,000 a year over a period of about 40 years. That's over $1 million, right? And what happens is, because we're not living within our means, or we're not looking to generate more wealth, and we resort to getting credit, what ends up happening is that we keep taking out of, right? We keep bleeding.
You're taking away from your wealth. That's why I say you're building your poverty.
Yes,
when you get credit, using credit builds your poverty.
And increasing, and so we're increasing the wealth of the companies that lend to us, while at the same time we're increasing our poverty. And so if there is anything to be gained from this show, is that we're looking to build wealth. We're looking to dig out of that. And so Taliba is here to help us to do that. So as you listen, what she just said is really key, really, really important. Taliba, share that with us again. I'm going to reiterate some other points. The piece about being $1 million, because there are a lot of us who want to be millionaires, and many of us held $1 million. We've embraced it and didn't even know, right?
You let it go before you knew you had it.
Ooh. Oh my God.
You gave it away before you knew you had it.
Ooh. So we want to be a millionaire, and that's it. That's why you gave
it away.
That we're already
gave it away before you had it, and then went and scratched a lottery ticket.
Right? We don't even need the lottery ticket, because we already have it. We are already wealthy. We just haven't had the mindset, and Taliba is here to help us gain that as well, right? The mindset of wealthy people. So the wealthy people mindset is that we buy assets. We buy things that appreciate in value, that put money into our pockets, right? And we can use credit to help us in that regard, but we use credit wisely so that we're not paying back the minimum payment, because that's the other piece. We're paying back the minimum payment, and the credit card companies get wealthy off of us, and we get poorer, right? So just be mindful.
Because if you're paying your credit card bill off every month, what you've done is you've given yourself an interest-free loan for 30 days. But if you don't pay it off every month, now you have to pay interest. So you're paying more money than you got in the loan to pay the loan back. Now, that's what I call backwards hustling. You're hustling backwards. You're hustling to be broke. And so but you don't see the fact that your husband may be broke because you look around and you say, oh, well, I got this and I got that. The problem is you don't own any of it.
Ooh.
By the time you pay it off, it's not even going to be in style no more. It'll be obsolete because we live in a society of planned obsolescence.
Mm-mm.
And because we live in society, by the time you pay off the phone that you use the credit to buy, you got to go back into debt to get the next phone that came out.
What? It's crazy.
And
It's
so
crazy.
the thing that you have to train yourself to do is to not want the phone if the phone doesn't bring you wealth.
Mm.
Cheap phones work good.
Wow. So we have to begin to train ourselves to not go after the things that aren't bringing us wealth. It's not.
Yeah, stop following the Joneses because the Joneses have all that finance stuff too. That's why they're in debt.
Ooh, yes. You're not even kidding. Wow. Let's see what people are saying here. So James says, parents need to understand this. A parent should leave his or her kids and grandkids a financial account. If not, a parent will leave a GoFundMe account. It's your
Exactly. Thank you, James.
powerful statement. Thank you, James. Yeah. Oh, okay. James said, stop living for now and live for the future. That's so great. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. See, Taliba, when you come on this show, I feel like I need to have you back because it feels like, again, we just scratched the surface today and there is so much more. And I could feel that you've got way more to share with us. So I want to take a moment here and just ask for the people in the chat, what is your biggest takeaway today? Because the thing is, we don't just want to come and drop information on you. We want to make sure that this is actually helping you along your journey to building wealth, because that is our mission and our message, right? What is your biggest takeaway? What is your action step? What are you gonna do as a result of what you're learning today? Because Taliba dropped a lot on us, right? It's almost like, wow, how do we take all of this in? All right. And depending on where you're seeing it, you can decide to take action to take yourself in a whole new direction and change your future and the future of generations, right? So what are you going to do? So I want to hear from you what you are going to be doing differently. And Taliba, while I'll wait for people to share, I want to give you a chance to tell us, what's your, what are your final words for us as we come down? And I just want to acknowledge James as the top participant on our show today. James, there is a gift we've got for you because we really believe in rewarding people who are here with us, who are interested and who show their enthusiasm by participating as actively as you've done. So thank you for that. While Taliba is getting ready to give us her final words, I'm just going to ask you to feel free to also share this with your people. There are some of your people who really could use a message, a miracle, a breakthrough today. And if you will take this and share it with them, it will make a big difference to them. So please help us get this out there. I want Taliba to come back and share more with us. And I'm going to invite you to also come back and join us, right? So with that, it looks like we lost her. I'm just going to break down a few of the points, but I want for you to share with us, right? What is it that you are taking today that's going to make a big difference? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. James, you said what I'm doing now is saving in assets, not the banking system. I'm building a legacy for my family. Yes, James, well done. Awesome. And I'm going to invite all of us to really to begin to build assets. And like James says, build a legacy for your family, for future generations to come. Thank you for joining us, James. There is a gift that we're going to have for you. I will share more of that in the coming days on the page where on our page, so you can stay tuned for that. And to all of you, please share. And we invite you to come back again next time. I'm going to have Taliba again. Looking forward to having you. Thank you again. We'll talk to you soon. Have a fantastic week. And remember, there is a message, a miracle, a manifestation with your name on it. Allow yourself to receive it. I see Taliba. Taliba, you joined us just as we're saying goodbye.
Yes, yes. I don't know it's a Mercury retrograde that we're in. So whenever Mercury is retrograde, and I just go with the roll with the punches.
That's the truth. That's the truth. So yeah, as we wrap it up, did you want to say goodbye quickly to?
Yes, I do. I always have a lot to say. You guys can follow me, and you can ask James. James is that's like. James is the first person that saw what I have in me and told me about it. So I always have to do well to live up to my purpose because James saw it for me.
And that's awesome. Awesome.
But I love to teach, and I want everyone to be financially secure so bad because what's coming, you guys, we're talking about credit now, but there's a wealth transfer impending.
Yes.
And when a wealth transfer is coming, you don't want to be on the financial crisis. Financial crisis is the loss side of a wealth transfer.
Yes.
And when you're on the loss side, it's going to hurt, and this one is going to hurt bad. And if you're not positioned well, you're going to suffer, and then your children are going to suffer. And that really, I think, is what drives me more than anything is the children, because they have no choice over what we leave them.
That's
so
cool.
Follow me. You can work with me. If you want to work with me, you can check out my organization, the Monetize Your Life Network, at monetizeyourlife.club, CLUB, not com, but club. And so you can check it out and follow me on Facebook, you guys. Just hit my name up there in the corner, and that's how you find me.
That's powerful. Monetizeyourlife.club. That's CLUB. Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And we're going to have you back. I would absolutely love the opportunity to have you again because it is precious, the times that we spend, and it's so powerful, the learning. You are amazing, and I'm thankful for you, and I look forward to sharing you again. We'll see how we can work it out so that you come back very, very soon. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Taliba. We are blessed and grateful for you, and we'll see you soon.